first review of the night, the 1922 classic, Nosferatu. Alright, so this is probably the most famous movie in the entire tournament. Nosferatu, the classic. And, I actually kind of liked it. I wasn't expecting going in kind of liking the film. But I did, actually. I loved the eerie and spooky imagery. For a movie in the 20s, I wasn't expecting to get such great, atmosphere and such an eerie presence. But even movies today kind of struggle doing sometimes. Yeah. I thought they did a really good job. And especially the scene where Nosferatu's going to Ellen's room and you only see the shadow. That was fucking badass. That was shit, that was cool. However, this movie is a retelling of Dracula. And when I mean retelling, I mean fucking 70% copy-paste cut. They fucking really retelling. There's a lot of, I can see why this movie kind of got hit with a copyright strike from Mrs. Stroker. But I had a good time. I'm glad this movie didn't get lost to time. And I had a blast with this. Okay, so this movie stars a guy named Thomas. And dude, in the very beginning of the movie, dude's overly happy, overly excited. Overly joyful. He kind of reminded me of fucking WWE superstar Eugene. Dude's just fucking the very beginning of the movie running around waving and happy. But besides all this goofy shit, he still gets pussy. He has a wife named Ellen. And for some reason she likes him a lot too. And anyway, so the dude, Thomas, I think he works for a real estate agent. Is that right? He works for a real estate agent named a guy named Knock. And he sends Thomas to Transylvania to meet with his client, Count Olaf. And I was like, oh, okay, Thomas is going to be Renfield. Turns out Knock was kind of Renfield. He was Renfield the whole time. I guess Knock went there beforehand and got hypnotized or whatever Dracula does.
Kind of like what happens to Renfield in the books.
Yeah.
And other shut movies. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Thomas travels over to Transylvania. He goes to a bar or a hotel for to get some beer or some rest. And everybody he tells everybody where he's going. No, there's a werewolf. And it cuts over to some little fox.
A hyena.
A hyena, that's like a baby fox. Is that what they're fucking worried about? That little baby fucking thing. I was like, all right, cool. So yeah, my boy Thomas, he goes, all right, cool, I'll stay the night. I didn't think he was going to listen to it, but he's like, oh, okay. And he stays the night, and he starts reading a book about vampires. They just randomly have there. Yes, the next day, he gets a coach over. They don't take him so far because they're having a bad feeling about what's coming up. But luckily, another coach shows up, a spooky-looking motherfucker. And one thing that's kind of hard to tell in this movie is, is the day and night.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes they have blue tints to help you, like, oh, it's nighttime. But sometimes they don't, so it's kind of,
Yeah.
That's, like, one of the biggest complaints is, like, the day and night system and, consistency on that. Alright. Well, they get to Dracula's castle, and at this point, it kind of is like, just like the book, we're here for a little bit. Nosferatu invites him in for some food. Thomas cuts his finger and bleeds a little bit. And Nosferatu had no chill. He didn't give a fuck. He just came over and started licking that shit up like a damn dog. And some reason, at some point while they're eating dinner, Thomas dropped a picture of his wife, and Nosferatu picks it up and says, "She has a nice neck." And he goes, "Oh, by the way, I want to move in next door." Like, that's pretty fucking ballsy there. Like he basically, hey, your wife's pretty hot, and I'm gonna be your new neighbor. Like, I was like, damn, Nosferatu. So Thomas is getting some weird suspicions about Olaf. He's like, man, this guy ain't right. And he keeps reading this vampire book, and he sees dude making these coffins with all this dirt in it. And I think he figures out, oh shit, this dude's a vampire. And so this part didn't make any sense. Maybe you understood this part. So Nosferatu's like, fuck it, I'm going to Germany. I got my deed signed. And he runs off. And Thomas, I guess, I don't know why he didn't go out the front door. Did he lock him in?
I don't remember.
Because like he tied a bedsheet around to climb out the window. I was like, I don't remember Nosferatu locking him in. Why couldn't he just fucking leave the front door? And dumbass Thomas falls at a certain point and gets like unconscious for days and has to go to the hospital. And I was like, that big dummy. I don't know. Maybe we missed that part. Maybe Nosferatu boarded him in, but I was like, why didn't he just go out the damn front door? And so while that's happening, Nosferatu goes and boards a ship. And basically, like in the Dracula book, kills everybody aboard. It arrives at Germany. And I thought it was really cool, too, when he gets there, he just picks up them coffins.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, dude, got some guns. And I wish I would have put the blue tint on this, because it looks like he's just walking mid-daylight. And then I guess he goes to his new house. And days later, Thomas wakes up in the hospital. And he's like, alright. And then he travels back to Germany. And everybody in Germany thinks there's a plague going around. Everybody's dying. They're drawing crosses on doors of, I guess, the people who are dead or infected. I guess dead, because he didn't turn anybody into vampires. He just killed them. And I read somewhere that this version, he's a vampire that doesn't turn anybody into vampires. He became a vampire from like demons or something. Okay, I read that. I didn't get that from the movie. I read that somewhere else. And everybody, after a while, people they figure it out. They think it's Knock, the real estate agent who's in a mental institution eating spiders and bugs, just like in the book. And they chase him around. And dude, he's a big chubby dude. He's like jumping on houses. I was like, damn. And so that's kind of cool. And then they finally catch his ass. And I guess no one really puts two and two about Nosferatu, the creepy weird dude in that building. And Thomas finally gets back, and he sees Ellen, and they hug, and you think everything's gonna be good now. And for some reason, they don't sleep in the same room or the same bed. I don't know. And while at night, Nosferatu looks at the window and it's like, talking that good shit. So she invites him over, and he kills her. And Dwayne, he kills her, right? And then the fucking sun comes out, and Nosferatu looks at the window. Oopsie doopsie, he's dead. What the fuck kind of ending is that? And then Thomas walks in, and Ellen's dead. He goes, "Oh, that sucks." Movie ends. And I was like, "What the fuck? He's got to be a couple 100 years old." He didn't think, hey, sun may come up. I guess. I mean, she wasn't even that attractive. He could have waited on that bitch another couple of days. I like to. Here's how I want to explain it, Dwayne. And when he traveled to Transylvania to Germany, he wasn't aware of what time differences is, or different time zones. So he was used to Transylvania time, right? He got a clock, a watch. He's got that Transylvania time set up, but he didn't know Germany sunlight comes out earlier. That's how I'm explaining it, so it can keep the rating I gave it. Dwayne, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I know it was made in 1922, so I'm not going to dock it too much for effects or anything like that. I did notice, like you said, they put the blue tint over the camera to make it look like it was nighttime sometimes, so you can tell the difference between daylight and nighttime. Yeah, like you said, there's supposed to be like wolves out there. It was like a freaking hyena or something like that. It wasn't even anywhere near looking like a wolf. I liked it. The issue, like you said, with Knock was supposed to be the Renfield character. And I think at the end, he's just like standing on a rooftop and people are throwing rocks at him. Yeah. I don't even know if he falls, if he dies, or anything happens to him.
He was alive, and then when Nosferatu died, he goes, "My master's dead." And I think he died then.
Okay. There's some great, like you're talking about the atmosphere, there's some great scenes. There's a scene when the Harker character looks like in a coffin, and Count Orlok had there's like a chip out of the coffin, and you can see him staring out at the Harker character. Yeah. And that was like really scary looking. Like you said with the coffins, that's a great scene. He's got like a coffin under his hand walking around through the streets and stuff. He's carrying his own coffin. That was really cool. I like that scene there too. The scene at the end with the lady, somewhere there, and I'm not going to blow up your rating and stuff, there's a scene where they're like showing where she's reading a book, and in one of the passages says stop a vampire, a woman's love or something can stop a vampire, and that's where he goes there, and because he's, I guess, transfixed by her beauty, and like you said, she's not really pretty. Maybe 1920s version.
I don't know, man. They gotta have hotter chicks back then. I don't know.
But he's like gazing at her, and he forgets the time. So when he finally kills her, it's already sun up, and he looks out and sees the sun hits him, and he fades away and everything. He gets too involved looking at her beauty that he forgets about the sun coming up.
Couldn't he have hid under the bed?
He could have gone in the closet or something.
Ah, shit! I guess I'm under the bed the rest of the day. He just like, "What's this?" And whoops, and he's just like such a comedic banana peel slip fucking death.
Oh yeah, just look, oh wait, the sun's up. Oh, I'm a vampire, I'm dead.
Yeah, damn, I would Thomas would have got his ass whooped, so I guess this is the best outcome. Thomas looked like a bit of a pussy. Yeah. I mean, fucking idiot didn't go out the front door. He fell and was knocked out for days.
I think when he said about them not sharing a bed, I think in the movies back then they weren't allowed to show a man and a woman in bed together.
Oh God.
Yeah. So.
I know it was like that for TV shows until the damn 60s.
Yeah. But overall though, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it's just a different version of the Bram Stoker's Dracula. I think Count Orlok looks very scarier than the Bela Lugosi Dracula.
What did you like better, Nosferatu or the Bela Lugosi Dracula?
Okay, so Nosferatu, the vampire, looks a lot scarier. Yeah. Now in the Bela Lugosi ones, they're speaking. You have to read it all, which I don't care. I like subtitled movies. I watch a lot of Japanese movies and stuff. But I just think the Bela Lugosi version is more faithful to the books than Nosferatu was. So I kind of like that one better, but definitely the vampire in Nosferatu was a lot scarier than Bela Lugosi.
I liked the Nosferatu better. To me, I just thought it was a better movie, I liked the story better. I don't know. Because I didn't like the Bela Lugosi Dracula movie. I don't know. I have to re-review it, rewatch it. But I know I reviewed it on my podcast, Two Guys in the Dark. Shout out. God didn't like it. I did not. I don't know. And I thought, this one's a lot better. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would have.
Oh yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. So I'm gonna go with a 7. 7 seems to be like I think it's a good movie rating.
Okay.
I'll keep it a 7. I'm trying not to do too much against it, saying because of when it was made. I know the effects weren't great, but there was a lot of atmosphere in it. There were some really good shots in there. I docked it a little bit because, like I said, they had to adapt it a little bit so it wasn't like a complete rip-off of Bram Stoker's Dracula, but it's really good. I liked it. I'm giving it a 7.
Okay. Here are my pros and cons for Nosferatu. Pros: great imagery and sets. Great story, even though it's basically just a copy-paste Dracula. Nosferatu looks bad as hell. The cons: a lame-ass main character. Whoopsie-doopsie finale. Followed the book a little too closely. I'm giving Nosferatu 7 whoopsie-doopsies out of 10.